This is Mac OS Ken.
Semiconductor tariffs on the horizon, Brazil's getting third-party app stores, and Ford says it is still into CarPlay. It is Tuesday, the 30th of December, 2025. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Copilot Money, making your money feel clear, calm, and fully yours. Get a 2-month free trial with offer code MacOSKen at try.copilot.money/MacOSKen. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSKen. I once spent an entire day watching a weather report in Oklahoma. It's not as weird as it sounds. I lived there briefly. I wasn't trying to watch the weather. Can't remember what I was trying to watch, actually, but all any of the local stations would show was some storm that was hundreds of miles away. To be honest, I spent most of the day pissed. Though I don't remember what it was I was trying to watch, I do remember being angry that I couldn't watch it because they kept talking about something happening hundreds of miles away. Flash forward 6 hours, and I was sitting in a closet, TV turned up in the other room as loud as it would go so I could hear when it was safe to come out, and feeling the floor beneath me rumble as a tornado passed relatively nearby. What made me think of that? A blurb from CNBC posted early last week that said, the U.S. will increase tariffs on Chinese semiconductor imports in June of 2027 at a rate to be determined at least a month in advance. Man, I don't want to watch this for a year and a half. According to the piece, the decision to delay new tariffs for at least 18 months signals that the Trump administration is seeking to cool any trade hostilities between the U.S. and China. Now, annoyed though I was by the all-day weather report, it did give me all day to prepare. See also the year-and-a-half heads-up on semiconductors. A piece from Apple Insider on the news points out that the announcement buys companies time to arrange sourcing from other countries not affected by the tariff situation. Not surprisingly, Apple is seen as well positioned ahead of the mid-2027 tariffs. That's due partly to its ongoing supply chain diversification, as well as various moves to keep the Cupertino company in the Trump administration's good graces. This is going to shock you. A piece late last week from The Guardian says Apple is appealing a case in the United Kingdom that found the company had overcharged App Store consumers. If the appeal fails, the piece says every person in the UK who made App Store purchases between 2015 and 2024 could be entitled to compensation. How much are we talking? £1.5 billion, roughly $2 billion US. That's in total, of course, not per person. Still, it is no small amount, even for Apple, which tends to fight even small amounts. Apple did its usual thing, said it disagreed with the ruling, that the courts had taken a flawed view of the thriving and competitive app economy with other platforms providing vigorous competition, and that most developers only pay a 15% commission, not the old 30% commission on which the case was based. The company also argued that the App Store kicks a lot of revenue the UK's way, facilitating billings and sales of over $55 billion US, or 41 billion pounds in the country in 2024. No word in the piece on next steps in the case. Speaking of app stores and the trouble they bring, and the solutions offered for those troubles, another country's getting alternative app stores in the next few months. Mac Rumors ran a piece early last week that had Apple agreeing to allow alternative app stores, third-party payment systems for in-app purchases, and in-app links to external offers on iOS in Brazil. Not that the company's happy about it. A support doc on alternative app distribution has Apple doing a very subtle scare thing. The genteel warning assures readers, if you prefer using apps that have met all of Apple's app review guidelines, including Apple's standards for privacy, security, and quality, you can use the App Store. Still, the move should get Brazilian regulators off Apple's back. Another piece from Mac Rumors says the Cupertino company made the move to resolve an investigation into its App Store rules on iOS. Brazil's Administrative Council of Economic Defense was looking into such Apple practices as not allowing third-party app stores, requiring developers to use Apple's in-app payment system, and blocking communication from developers telling users about purchasing alternatives outside Apple's App Store. As for commissions on purchases made outside Apple's App Store, it depends on how the customer gets there. According to Mac Rumors, if an app directs users to pay outside the App Store using only static text with no clickable link or button, Apple will not charge a fee. If the app includes a clickable button or link that sends users to an external website for payment, Apple will charge a 15% fee. Apple must make the changes in roughly 100 days. That'll likely see them go into effect in April 2026. Mac Rumors figures that could happen with the release of Everything OS 26.4. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, Copilot Money, designed to make your money feel clear, calm, and fully yours. They do that by letting you track money coming in, money going out, where you stand on financial goals, and how your investments are performing, all in one beautiful interface. Well, one beautiful interface across many devices. Copilot Money has native apps for iPhone, iPad, and the Mac, as well as a new web experience. If you're connected to the internet, you are connected to your finances. All with a focus on user privacy and with help from real people when you need it. Get a fresh start and make your money work for you in 2026 at try.copilot.money/macOScan. For a limited time, new users get 26% off your first year after a 2-month free trial with offer code macOScan. Featured by Apple for its design and as a smart way to save money, you can try it out with a 2-month free trial with offer code macOScan. Then, new users get 26% off your first year when you sign up at try.copilot.money/macOScan. Your money, beautifully organized, now across every device at try.copilot.money/macOScan. A new year for the world means a big new sales promo for Apple in Japan. Apple Insider says the Cupertino company is continuing a relatively recent tradition of giving away special New Year AirTags with the purchase of select iPhones. According to the Apple website, according to Apple Insider, the AirTag will be engraved with a daruma, a traditional Japanese talisman that symbolizes good luck and perseverance. And good luck getting them. Only 65,000 AirTags with limited engraving will be available during the sale. Miss those though, and buyers will still get a bonus. The special AirTags will go to buyers of an iPhone 16, iPhone 16 Plus, or iPhone 16e, along with a gift card worth 12,000 yen. That's roughly $77 US. Gift cards run the gamut, depending on what's bought, with the purchase of an Apple Watch Series 11 or SE3 netting one worth 8,000 yen, roughly $51 US, to gift cards with various Mac models worth 38,000 yen, roughly $250. Exclusive to Apple Japan, the promo event runs from Friday the 2nd of January through Monday, January 5th. And finally today, Ford is sticking with Apple's CarPlay. That is the word from Ford by way of 9 to 5 Mac. The site wrote up an appearance by Ford CFO Sherry House at a Cars and Mobility Tech conference put on by Barclays, saying that her company will keep giving the customers choice as it relates to Apple CarPlay. House identified Apple's in-car infotainment system as a product that customers really enjoy. Of course, it's not the only one out there, hence the giving customers choice part. In addition to CarPlay, Ford does plan to bring in Gemini in 2026 as soon as that's available. And since they're the ones building the cars, they plan to keep developing native apps of their own as well. So, says the CFO, what you're seeing is this combination of bringing the best from the outside, complementing it with what we know about our customer base, complementing it with native apps, and bringing that all together across the entire portfolio of products. Strong show of support, though it does leave at least one big question. Does a commitment to CarPlay mean a commitment to CarPlay Ultra? Well, Ford CEO Jim Farley said recently that he's not digging the first version of CarPlay Ultra. Apple does list the automaker as a CarPlay Ultra partner. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Copilot Money. Get a 2-month free trial with offer code MacOSKen at try.copilot.money/MacOSKen. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can find me on Mastodon, MacOSKen at mastodon.social. You can also send me an email, info@macosken.com. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Leonard likes this post.